Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Klaus in Life, where we interview agents, leaders, and influencers who are making a big difference for the better in other people's life. And my name is Klaus Sin with eXp Realty, and today I have the honor to interview my friend Nick Good with the Good Home Team. And Nick is one of Dallas Fort Worth's most successful real estate teams. So in 2019, Nick moved his business from Keller Williams to eXp Realty, and today we will uncover the reasons why he made that bold decision and what actually happened since then. So let's get right into it after this intro. So, Nick, good morning. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to be here today. And before we start talking about eXp, tell us how the Nick Good real estate journey began.
Yeah, absolutely. First off, thanks for having me, Klaus. It's great seeing you again, buddy.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Some fun facts. Yesterday, it rained here in Dallas for the first time in 62 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So a little bit about myself. I'm 39 years old. I got in the business back in 2005. So that would put me at 22. And really how this started, Klaus, is that I was delivering pizzas, and I'm taking it back to college, right? So I was delivering pizzas, and I had come to a realization that if I wanted to attract a good wife or a wife in general, they're probably not dating the pizza delivery driver. It's probably not a very promising or career that a wife would want to partner up with. And so what I did do, I was in college. I looked at my college job board and saw that there was a real estate assistant opening right around the corner from my college. I went to the University of Texas at Dallas, and I had always wanted to get into real estate investing. My brother and I did. We had read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. We read a lot of real estate investment books. We realized that early on that in order to gain wealth or to build wealth, that needed to come from real estate, owning real estate. And so I went on the job interview. They somehow hired me. To this day, I'm still great friends with that broker. And I'd still question them of saying, look, I'm the worst real estate assistant possible. I can barely keep myself organized. And I'm grateful that they hired me, because that put me on the path that I'm on today, which is, I learned the business from them. So I had early on, I had a mentor, which was Jay Robbins, the broker that I worked with. And he showed me how they became the number 1 real estate broker in the city that I lived in and they resided in, which was Richardson, Texas. So they just showed me how to become successful. And then ultimately, when I graduated college in 2007, Jay Robbins had offered me a full-time salaried position to be there to grow within the assistant role. And I'd gotten licensed in 2006. So I was now a licensed assistant. And I was like, look, Jay, I truly appreciate it. Let me ask you a question. If I were to go into full-time real estate and real estate sales and go 100% commission, could I make 6 figures in this business in my first year? And he said, absolutely, you can. I said, cool. Well, I appreciate the salaried offer, but I'm going to take the 100% commission, offer with you and become a licensed, just a full-time licensed realtor with your brokerage. And to say that I did not make 6 figures is an understatement. I only sold 3 homes my first year. Right. And so in the middle of all that, I had gotten married, I bought a house and graduated college. Right. So,
Wow.
So what's a better move than to, when you're doing all that and taking on all that debt, is to go 100% commission in full-time real estate. So, everything has been a learning curve and a learning path, and we fail our way forward. And I believe that agents that have grit, that can learn from their failures, and then tweak and improve will be the ones that succeed in this business. And
Right.
and so in late 2007, I knew that I needed to make a change from the brokerage with Jay's brokerage. They were great for what they were doing, and I was grateful for them, but I needed some more training. I needed some more guidance that they weren't at the time able to offer. And so in December of 2007, I joined Keller Williams because I had a friend that was there, and she was doing amazing. And I was like, well, if she can do it, then I definitely can do it at her level. And joined, again, Keller Williams December 2007, started going through their kind of training programs. And what I quickly learned was that they talk about working your database. Well, I'm 24 becoming 25, turning 25. My friends were broke. They were either still in college on their 7-year college plan, or they had just graduated. They didn't have any money. They weren't thinking about owning a house, Klaus. Right.
Yeah.
So, and my friend's parents weren't using their broke kid's friend.
Sure.
So I had to go and learn, all right, well, my sphere is not valuable right now. I need to go learn the prospecting side. I need to go learn to talk to strangers. I need to go learn how to find the motivated sellers and buyers. And so I just started studying the craft, and I started studying how to become a lead generator. It was at that time, if you remember back then, Klaus, if you remember, like Craigslist was really, really big. And so I learned how to generate leads off Craigslist. I learned how to slowly make expireds and for sale by owners calls. And as I started learning and implementing and failing my way forward, it led me to building a team. In 2009, I built the Good Home Team. And fast forward today, we have a team of, I don't even know how many, because we just onboarded 6 more this week. So either somewhere 20 plus team members and growing really, really fast. And, it's a team that sells over 200 properties a year for over 60 million in closed volume. And it allows me to be able to pour into real estate agents and help them create a path and a plan to going from 0 to $30 million in production, or 0 to 6 figures in income, and then ultimately help them, build wealth through real estate. So it's been an amazing journey.
That's pretty awesome. Especially, I need to recommend you on the fact 2007, 2008. That's really when real estate agents, they did not go into business. They went out of business. I'm doing this now since 25 years, and I remember 2008 very well. I had the pleasure that I took a leave of absence. We did a world tour from 2005 to 2008, but I came back in 8. Actually, January 9, we opened our office, and everything was a nightmare, right? So starting right there, you get all my, everything I can say. My God.
Yeah. Well, here's the good news is one, I'm very observant. So that's I observe what's going on around me, and I noticed there was 2 things. The first thing that I had going for me, I was already broke, Klaus. Like, it didn't matter. It couldn't get that much worse.
Couldn't get worse.
So I was pretty much already participating in the recession because I was broke. And
Right.
and the other thing is, what I did notice, though, again, being very observant and learning and not making the mistakes that others are making, was that I watched agents that had been in this business a long time. And look, I've been in it since 2005, licensed in 2006. So I'm 3 years away from being 20 years in this business.
Yep.
And what I noticed is that agents, and we still make the same mistake today, is that they get fat and happy and content with a few leads, with a few sources of business. And they think that it will never go away. And the problem that I see with that is in 2008, when the market crashed, a lot of these agents that were making a lot of money and had built a lifestyle that was reliant on the type of income they were making, well, they didn't know how to go build any other sources of business, or they got so content that they felt like they couldn't do anything because they didn't know what to do. And so I told myself, and one of our belief statements within our Good Home Team is, we are a prospecting and training based company that strives for growth in any marketplace.
Right.
So we will never rest on one lead source. We'll never put our hat in only one bucket, because that could go away tomorrow. And then now we're left scrambling the way agents were in 2008, when they were really only working their sphere. And back then, as I did, 2008, it was going amazingly well until Enron, until the financial collapse. I had 8 properties under contract in 1 month. I was walking around. I was 2008. I was 25 years old. So I was about to make a lot of money. And I was walking around like, you couldn't stop me. I could walk through walls. And all 8 of those deals fell apart, Klaus. And they did not come back to life. So it's not like, hey, they terminated and a month or 2 later, I brought them back and put them under contract. They all left. They didn't come back. A lot of them were losing money in the stock market, or they lost their job. And I quickly was like, all right, what am I going to do? And one of my light bulb moments is I did what anybody did. I started going to look for a regular job, because I said, man, I'm not cut out for this. This up and down roller coaster. It's feast or famine. And I'm not liking the feeling of losing right now, or I don't know where my next paycheck is going to come from. And it's because I didn't have a system in place, right? Systems and processes can help, fix and solve problems that we face. But if we don't know where our business is coming from, and so Klaus, I went and started looking for jobs, and I had to go on a lot of job interviews. In fact, that became my full-time job, was looking and interviewing for jobs, because there was too many workers and not enough employers hiring. Yeah. And so what happened was, my light bulb moment, and the reason why I'm in this industry today, is I got a job offer at a foreclosure company. They were the ones that were tasked with clearing out all the bank-owned properties. And they said, Nick, we really like you. We want to offer you $60,000 or $65,000 a year salary. You need to come in and work Monday through Saturday. We got so much business that you need to work 6 days a week. And I was like, okay, cool. And they're like, and they were like, we have a bonus structure. So if you're able to clear out a certain amount of the bank-owned properties and get them off the bank's asset books or their ledger, then they would give you a bonus. And when I really calculated all that, I would have to come work on Sunday, and then ultimately have to figure out how to squeeze an 8th day in of that week to really hit their bonus levels. Right. And so as I'm driving home, this light bulb moment went off, this epiphany. I don't know if it's God, the universe, whatever, that just smacked me in the face and said, look, if I were to commit the same amount of time that this company wants me to commit to, if I were to put that in my real estate business, I can definitely make more than $65,000 even in this marketplace, because people were still selling and buying homes. Yep. And what I had, the tough pill that I had to swallow, was that I was expecting full-time income on part-time efforts. And too many people get in this business and they do it for what? Time freedom and unlimited money potential. And so they become their own worst boss. They're like, what do they wake up late. They kind of putz around the house. They finally they log onto their computer. They do some email work or whatever, maybe check their social medias. And then before you know it, they're like, Klaus, it's lunchtime. I got to go to lunch. I'm hungry. So then they go to lunch, and then they come back, and it's usually 1:30, 2 o'clock. And then they do a little bit more social media work or just kind of scrolling. And then it's dinner time. And so they didn't really get anything done. Right. And so this is the problem, is a lot of people get into this business wanting to make 6 figures or more, wanting that time freedom, and they expect full-time income on part-time effort.
Yeah, they don't put the work in, they don't put the hours in. And that happens a lot. And I think and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think right now the market is shifting. I think in Florida here, we really don't feel it that much. I think we do feel it because you don't have 10 offers on every listing anymore, but it's certainly the market is shifting, and I know in different parts of the country it's a lot more than here. So it will be more difficult for agents to get get the buyers and the sellers on board and get deals done, and that will really make a difference. Now I know, obviously you build your team, you got in at a time that was difficult, so it actually got easier, and the same happened to me. But then you spent that time at Keller Williams. You created pretty much your own lead generation, your own marketing, and everything. But then in I think it was in 2019, you made the decision to move your business over to eXp Realty, and I think being at Keller Williams, which is a great company, being with them for 8, 9, almost 10 years, that was a bold decision. And what caused you to even think about that? Why did?
Yeah, no, great question, Klaus. And honestly, I'll be honest with you, is there's two things. One, I never looked at eXp in the right way in the beginning, right? And so it was just another brokerage that had opened up. I thought it was a flash in the pan, and I had no desire to leave Keller Williams. I honestly believed that I would be with them and my career would end with them. I was on the verge. So two things that happened. As we were growing this team, we expanded, right? We opened up in Houston, and by accident, it was just an accident, but we had started opening up in Houston. And so this was in 2000 and end of 2017, beginning of 2018, when we expanded from Dallas to Houston. And what I noticed was there was a disconnect between the Keller Williams franchise owners, right? So when we opened up in Houston, Texas, our agents didn't get the same, commissions or the same opportunity that my agents in Dallas did. And in fact, it cost them more to be on our team there. And we tried to find a workaround. I mean, we worked with the franchise owner down in the Houston, Texas area. And we're like, look, let us help you. Let us help you grow. Because that was one of the way. Like, let's make this a win-win, Klaus. And right. So what do? They gave us their roster list and said, hey, these are the ones that you should call. And the ones that they told us to call and introduce ourselves to and really build relationship those were the agents that weren't selling anything, right? Those were the ones that they're like, if something happens, great. If not, they just leave because they're not making any money. Right. And so we partnered with, I think it was like 4 or 5 agents down there in a 30-day period, and we got them selling. And the problem is that our agents down there were on a much higher cap than they were at my Dallas location. And so what we quickly realized is that there was a culture disconnect between the two offices. So the way that office was ran and the way that our Dallas one was ran, two different cultures, and we couldn't control it. And our agents down in Houston had those higher caps. So what did they do? They left us. They learned our systems and left us. And so we shut down. That
happens a lot. That happens a lot, right?
Yeah.
The agent learns what's going on, and then they say, I can do that. I don't need you anymore.
Exactly.
And you start over.
Yes. And so we said, we came to the Keller Williams leadership and we're like, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better cap, a lower cap for us expansion. They're like, look, it used to always be at Keller Williams, and the running joke was, oh, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And they've been saying that for 10 years. And so we shut it down. And I was like, all right, we'll just do Dallas. But I had looked at other opportunities at eXp. There was one cap. I could expand to Colorado, and my agents all have the same cap as my Dallas location. I could go to Florida and open up in your area, and my agents have the same cap as my Dallas location. And I was like, guys, this makes more sense. But it wasn't enough yet, Klaus, to make the move. Right? Everything was going great. We were building a great, amazing, massive team. And something happened, right? I was about to open up a Keller Williams franchise. I was going through that process, and I started recruiting, and I believed, what I needed to do, Klaus, was I needed to go and look at what my competition was. And there were two things that really got me. One, where I was at was, they had profit share. Regardless of what everyone says about it, it's definitely not as strong as revenue share, and it can be manipulated. I didn't like that part. I learned about it, about how the profit share can be manipulated. But look, it is what it is. I was like, I'm not going to be that franchise owner, so that's fine. But when I looked at what the best opportunity for my agents were on the team, right? Because it doesn't matter about Nick Good. It matters about the agents within the Good Home team and the ecosystem. And if we could put them in a better position to win, then the company wins. And so as I'm doing research on eXp, I went to my leadership team. I said, guys, tell me why this is not the right move. Because if I'm opening up a franchise, I'm going to plop down about 250 grand. I'm going to have to go get office space. I'm going to have to go recruit anyway. And then I'm going to have staff. So tell me why I shouldn't just do that at eXp, where I can then expand nationally and then internationally with no restrictions, no extra additional costs. And they're like, well, Nick, it's because it's not profitable and it will fail. We've already tried it and it will fail. And I was like, Klaus, that's not the right answer. Right? Because, eventually somebody gets it right.
Right.
And I said, all right, I'm out. And so in July of 2019, we moved our team over to eXp. And what I found is, number one, it was the right move. It's been the right move. It is the right move. And it will continue to be the right move in the place for us, because it allows us to put our agents in the best position to win. And what I mean by that is that, number one, is that our agents, when they have a reason to attract agents here, right? Because at some point in our careers, in our lifetime, we're going to go searching for a vehicle for residual income. Well, the great news is we have that here at eXp. They're going to go searching for an income to build wealth. We have that here at eXp with the stock ownership program. And so when we marry together what our teams are doing, and team owners need to look at this, because a lot of teams, unfortunately, are not profitable enough. And their only reason they're profitable or their numbers look good is because the team owner or the rainmaker is doing the lion's share of the work, and the rest of their agents are just barely scraping by, or maybe they're losing money on them. And it's an ego-based play. And so what we're seeing and what we believe, why we believe this is truly the best model out there, is that it puts the agents from day one in the driver's seat. They don't have to jump through hoops, Klaus. They don't have to earn their way in, the way some other brokerages do it. They don't have to go and move up the ranks, like from a team leader to maybe franchise owner or operating principal, et cetera. They get from day one the same opportunities that everyone else does. And so coming into our system, they can go and attract agents, and we have a proven path and a proven plan to help them build their residual income vehicle. We have a proven path to help them build their net worth or their retirement, or just a kind of savings account through the eXp stock ownership program. We've got a platform to show them how they can come in and not have to compete against parasitic team leaders, where they come in and they're able to grow their business from day one. And so that's why we made the move. It made sense for our agents, that then also made it a win for myself and my company. And it had to be that. No one was taking a loss here. It was a winning upside for everyone involved.
So what I'm hearing is, number one, it saves you a lot of money, because how much did you spend to join the eXp platform?
$149 instead of $250,000 franchise.
I think that's, spending 250 means you would need to make 500, right? So that's a lot of money, right? From the beginning. And you didn't have to buy a region. You didn't have to buy a territory. I think you can expand where?
Everywhere.
You can expand everywhere. eXp now is in 22 countries, I think.
Yeah, 22 countries. Klaus, let me interject. What platform, what brokerage, what other opportunities out there that really creates it to where an agent is incentivized to want to recruit agents to the company? Look, Keller Williams started that, which was great. eXp made it better. And look, there's some imitation companies out there, but then you have to start worrying about the profitability of companies, right? So the reason why I believe, Klaus, that team owners and independent brokers should look at, and they need to look at, deeply, this opportunity here, is that one, it's going to allow that team owner, that independent broker, to create, more profitability for themselves. It's going to be able to create more opportunity for their agents. More opportunity for their agents means that the agents retain. It's the stickiness of retention. And then ultimately, what it boils down to is, if I'm going to come build a residual income, my business, maybe even my net worth through the value and ownership play that eXp offers, I want to make sure that the company's profitable, because I don't want to go and go to a cheaper option, a discounted option, or a lower priced option where the company's not making as much. Because here's what's happened, Klaus, if you were moving to one of those companies and you built a great organization out of there, but the company wasn't profitable, what happens? The company goes out of business, and now you're left with nothing.
Yep.
And so we need to make sure that the platform, the brokerage that we tie our ship to, is going to be there for a long time.
Right.
And we need to stop looking at it, oh, it's cheaper here, it's cheaper there, blah, blah, blah. Because at the end of the day, we need to make sure the company stays profitable so that you can go build your residual income vehicle. You can build your net worth, and the stock value hopefully not hopefully, it will go up.
It will go up.
Yes. Yeah. Everything's on sale right now. It's the best time to make a move, by the way.
Absolutely.
And your agents come into an ecosystem that we're virtual-based brokerage. We thrive in this environment. Everything's going virtual. And we've got the best of the best. The who's who of real estate is here with us. So if you believe in collaboration over competition, Klaus, you're going to win.
That's true. And another thing I want to add to that is, I think I joined in 2018, and it took me 4 years to realize at the last shareholders meeting, I actually realized I didn't join another brokerage. I'm now part of a business empire, because real estate is only part of that whole thing. We're part of eXp. There is so much more technology, success magazine, success coaching, and there's so many different income opportunities in addition to your commission, which I still haven't used all of them. Still working on, because I think it's just amazing. You can't even explain that to somebody. I think after 4 years, I still don't know all of it, and I think I'm pretty involved, right? So now you're 3 years into that, and I hear from your excitement that you don't have regrets, I'm sure. Or do you? If you could do anything different, could have done anything different, what would that have been?
Great question. I feel like you're leading me, Klaus. That's a leading question. And the only regret is what everyone else says, is that I wish I would have joined sooner. I mean, and I say that only because I've met so many people that got here. We joined in 2019, that saw the opportunity in 2018 or 17. And I'm going to tell you right now, this company, this brokerage, these people they're millionaires because of the platform, the brokerage. And guess what? They didn't do anything different other than they sold houses.
Yep.
Right. And now I can tell you right now that their retirement is secure. Their family's trajectory when it comes to how they view wealth has been changed, hopefully forever. But at least in that short term, it's if that immediate family, that immediate business, and then potentially, the transfer of wealth, there's going to be a lot of that happening because of eXp. And so the only regret is I wish that I would have been more open-minded from day one, or when the opportunity was presented to me back in 2017, and I completely just said no and I didn't know what I was saying no to. That's right. That's the only regret I have.
Yeah. Well, like Jake Hinder said, if you've seen it, you can't unseen it. The problem is people, and I was one of them in 2015, the first time approach. I said, no, thank you. I don't want to hear about it, right? The problem is we don't even know what we don't want to hear about, because we don't know what it is. And it's far away from comparing it with any kind of conventional brokerage. There's no doubt about it. Now, the last thing to wrap that up, we've been here quite a while now. tomorrow we have a mastermind. I'm pretty excited about that. And you're going to talk about how to make your business recession proof. You have a few words about that. I think not spilling the beans, but
Yeah,
why people
absolutely.
should join that tomorrow. I have a few people always tell me, "Oh, you want to sell another package?" I say, "Well, our mastermind is nothing about selling a package. We spill the beans."
100%. So it's all free. So here's what, again, if you go back to the beginning and you were listening to this, is my belief is for the Good Home Team and why agents partner with me is that we are a training and prospecting based company that strives for growth in any marketplace. And the type of lead generation mechanisms that we have in place survives any market. It survives a thriving market and a declining market, because we're always on the hunt for motivated sellers and buyers. And so it's really just changing the mindset and really looking at the number one thing is, look, money changes hands when problems are solved. So in any marketplace that we are in, by the way, there's problems. And so in the last 2 years, what's been the problem in the marketplace? There's been no inventory, right? Prices were going through the roof. Interest rates were really low, so money was cheap. But what buyers were having problems with, especially if they owned a home, was, all right, if I sold my home, Klaus, where am I going to go? Or why would I sell my house right now and go spend 10 times more for another house? And so we had to then develop programs and show them why it was a smart move. And 2020, we signed, I think it was like 175 listings that year, the most listings we ever signed. By the way, that was full on COVID year. And so money changes hands when problems are solved. So when we're talking about recession proofing our business, sure, we can talk about the lead generation sources, but we need to always look at where our mindset is. And so I'll go deeper on that. I'll go deeper in saying, hey, how are you looking to see where the problems lie, and how can you go and solve those problems? You solve those problems, and you're recession proofing your business, because there's problems in any marketplace.
Cool. Well, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be tomorrow, Thursday at 12 noon Eastern time. I'm going to post a link below that video so people can click into it. And I really appreciate you taking the time today, Nick. It was a pleasure, and I hope to see you soon.
Klaus, I hope to see you, and I'm sure that I'll probably see you at eXp Con in Vegas.
The next thing I think is Dallas for me.
Oh, then I'll see you in Build. I'll see you in a couple weeks at Build. All right, buddy. I'll see you there. Hey, I truly appreciate it. And then, like I said, if there's ever any questions, Klaus, about why they, a team owner, an independent broker should partner with you, they need to reach out to you. You can connect them with me, and I'll make sure to really show them why it's beneficial to partner with you, Klaus.
Sounds great. I appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy.
Have a great day. Thanks.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.